Hi, today we are going to do a decorative technique called Sgraffito, and we're going to do it within a banded design. I wanted to show you here sort of a finished product, so you can see the banded design goes around the outside of the bowl's interior, and Sgraffito actually sort of scratches through a surface layer onto the clay underneath. So the first thing I've got is my banded design worksheet. And I have set up two little modules here that I'm going to repeat to create my banded design. Now I've drawn it twice to show you a reflective model or a repeating model. So first of all, if I'm going to repeat, I just copy what I've already drawn, again, just the same way. Just being careful to make sure that my proportions are the same. Just like that. Okay, so that would just repeat again and again and again. If I want to reflect, it's just like I'm looking at it in a mirror. So instead of from this corner to this corner, I'm just going to reverse that. And here it's really easy with the small shapes because you'll get these larger mirrored versions, just like this. All right, now for Sgraffito, we start by covering our surface in a colored slip. So here I've taken a regular clay base on this plate and I have covered it with a black slip. I know it doesn't look very black, but don't worry, once it goes in the glaze kiln, it'll be very pretty. So I need to decide what I want to remain black and what I want to carve down so that we see the clay body. So what I'm going to do is look at our design here, and I like to take my marker and just color in what I'm going to carve away. So I really want to make sure the things at the edges are carved away, so my design shows. So I'm just going to decide that that is going to go. I want it to be next to something that stays. So actually, I think this is going to work out pretty well. Now, if you try this and it is not working out well, you can always add a shape or get rid of one, and that's not a big deal. So I've decided now that these shapes are going to be carved away and these shapes are going to stay. All right, so the trickiest part of this whole process is measuring out your design. So I'm just going to flip this around so I can look at it. So we have these decorating discs to evenly divide your plate, and you want to make sure that if you are doing the reflected design, that you have one that has the even numbers around it, because otherwise you're going to get to the end and you're going to have a problem. If you're doing the repeating design, it doesn't matter. You can choose even or odd, whichever floats your boat. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to look at the concentric circles on the decorating disc, and I want to find the one that's approximately the same diameter as my plate, and I'm going to line it up just like that. Now, I have to decide how many pieces I'm going to divide this into. I'm going to go today with 8 because it sounds like a good number. So I'm going to look for all of the 8s on the outside of the disc. If for some reason you are waiting and waiting and waiting for a decorating disc and one is not coming free, you can do this with a ruler. 8 is a nice even number because you just go half and half and then half those again. So I'm going to look for the 8s, and I'm going to take a pin tool and I'm just going to make 2 tiny dots through the holes so that I can see where I need to make my divisions, because I'm going to divide my plate into 8 equal parts. Okay, here we go. So you can see the holes. They might be a little hard to see. And And you can design from there. I like to make very, very light lines that I can cover up later just by smoothing out or even touching up with a little bit of slip, because I like to see that division. So now I'm going to copy this pattern on to each section of my plate. So just want to go carefully, and I do it really lightly with my needle tool. You may find that the shape is a little different from the one that you drew, so you just need to look at it closely and work it out. Alright, make my design here. So you see this is a slightly longer shape than what I drew, so I can make some small adjustments. Okay, once I've got it on there lightly, you can take a little wire loop tool like this, or you can use one of the trimming tools if that works better for you. And I'm going to carve out those pieces that I drew black on my design. So you can just use this to carve away at the surface. You don't want to carve too deeply if you want a plate that's easy to clean, because then you have some very, very deep ridges. Although if you don't need your plate to be food functional, deep ridges can look really cool. So now I've finished carving my banded design all the way around. You see it's banded because it goes in a band around the rim. And what I can do now, here, let me hold this up, you can see it, is I can go and smooth out any visible lines that are left from when I did my divisions or when I carved in my design, or if I carved in the wrong design at some point and I need to make little changes. You can use wooden tools for this. I really like to use the back of my nails. It doesn't matter if it's long nail or short nail. I just like the amount of control I feel I have. So I just go in here, just do a little smoothing, just like that. Don't worry about tiny imperfections, those really won't show. How smooth you want your carved areas is really up to you. Again, you can use your nails, you can use a wooden tool. You may find that you like the carving lines and you can take them all in one direction, or you can go in and really flatten out those areas so you have a really smooth look when you're done. And that is the banded design done in Sgraffito.